ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Tane Ol, and I'm an anchor with World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform where industry leaders come together to share their knowledge, ideas, thoughts, and best practices with one another, as well as with upcoming future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to collate, encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by our industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leader interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other great leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that have already proven a success formula for so many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such corporate stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Govindan Soundarajan. We welcome you on the show, sir, today.
Thank you, Tane.
He is a visionary engineering and business leader with an illustrious career spanning over 2.5 decades, marked by remarkable achievements and contributions to the realm of hardware and software product development, engineering management, and technical leadership. As the General Manager and Head of Research and Development, Advanced Engineering and Software Architecture at Continental Automotive India, he is the driving force behind a formidable technology-focused research and development enterprise. It's our pleasure, sir, to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction.
So our first question for you, sir, is our viewers would like to know in brief about your career journey so far.
Well, so again, thank you very much again. I appreciate this initiative for having me on the show. So my name is Govindan Soundarajan. I have about 2.5 decades of industry experience. I would say technology experience in hardware, semiconductor product development, software development, artificial intelligence, high performance computing in multiple domains in consumer electronics, microprocessors, storage devices, and most recently in automotive. I have graduated with masters in VLSI technology from IIT Kharagpur. Prior to that, I did my masters in physics from University of Hyderabad, which is a central university, and then bachelor's in physics as well. Briefly started my career in New Delhi with ST Microelectronics. And then I spent about 5-6 years in the US in the Silicon Valley, primarily on semiconductor product development for a variety of applications and domains. Since early 2000, I am located in Bangalore in India, working in several organizations, contributing technically and in management and leadership roles. Most recently, for the last 8 years, I am part of Continental Automotive India. Continental is a tier 1 automotive component suppliers. My focus in this organization is on research and development, and primarily targeting artificial new age technologies, niche technologies you may call, artificial intelligence and applications, high performance computing platforms, cloud technologies, and these are the main focus. And we know, just to give a brief introduction on what is happening in the automotive world, we all know is having a huge transformation. From the traditional IC engines, we are moving towards electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and now that is on the one side. And also on the other side, we are also seeing a tremendous transformation in the mobility sector. We are seeing autonomous mobility, assisted mobility. We are looking at connected cars. We are looking at cybersecurity. So yes. This is one industry that is automotive, where a huge transformation is happening on all fronts, across all fronts at the same time. So my responsibility in Continental today is to drive these new technologies, understand them, and then see how relevant they are to automotive, and build building blocks and automotive functions, and then help the industry take up these challenges. So that is the brief introduction of myself, what I do, and then how I spend my life.
Yes, sir. So you have a really vast professional purview. How is it that someone is entrusted with so many responsibilities?
I think this is a very good question and a tough one also. Uh, mm, I would say I have been fortunate enough to work on cutting edge technologies all throughout my career.
Hmm.
If you look at in the electronics market or any technology market, the most important is the electronic component, which is a IC chip.
Hmm.
So for a major part of my career, about 20 years, I spent on IC development, which is basically the chip development for various consumer and enterprise markets. And this is still the cutting edge technology, because for anything you need an IC, be it
Yeah.
a cell phone, be it a health device, be it automotive, be it consumer electronics, you need an IC device. And so that is the key. So I have been fortunate to work on these technologies for a major part of my career. So naturally, I got several leadership opportunities along these years, and I honed my skills and experience working in different market segments as well as in different geographies. I also spent a significant amount of time in Europe working there
Hmm.
and gained these experiences. So I think it's a matter of a combination of technologies that I work in, the product space that I worked in, as well as the leadership opportunities and management opportunities that I've gained over these years is helping me driving these technologies, bringing these new technologies into forefront, and then developing products for the future of mankind. Yeah.
Sir, what are some of your learnings that you, in your day-to-day life professional chores? Alternately, as you have worked for research and development, could you share some insights into your research with your client, please? And your learnings in terms of what you had from your, work and how it really helps today.
Well, I think the learnings are many. I think everyone would have some learnings in their journey, be it a professional life or a personal life.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm no exception. Some of the learnings that I can point out. You see, the first thing we need to understand is that the world is changing very fast, right?
True.
Changing very fast and across all fronts. It could be a personal life, it could be professional life, it could be industry, it could be politics, it could be economics, and everywhere you see the world is facing a huge challenge these days, and which leads to transformation. And
Yeah.
then the key thing in such a huge let's say challenging times is quick adaptation of newer things that are present in the market. Take an example of artificial intelligence, and AI is not a new topic in the industry. AI has been there since 1950s and 1960s, but
Yeah.
then the first AI technologies were invented in 1950s and 1960s, but then AI really took off from 2000 and then more specifically from 2010 onwards. This is the reason behind this is because until 2000, the hardware is not powerful enough to run these AI algorithms, run these technologies. From 2000 onwards, we see a new age hardware
Hmm.
that were able to support these algorithms, because AI consumes huge power, huge complexity, and then any AI algorithm needs powerful machines. So with the advent of new machines, advent of new technologies, what happened was that the AI that was there prior to 2000 also changed. You
Hmm.
see newer and newer AI technologies coming in, and today, if you see what AI is today, is completely different. I would say more than 100% different from what AI was in 2000 as well, because newer technologies in AI as well is coming. And with this, so the key learning that I take is you need to be very fast in adaptation of new technologies, and you
Exactly.
need to be very fast in also unlearning some of the things, because if you hold on to the old learnings, you will not be able to learn new things. So the first learning I take is adaptation. The second one is, as I told, that the market itself is transforming at a huge pace. We need to have a sense of urgency in everything that we do. We cannot work at a very lethargic pace, because if you do, the competitors will go forward and then they take the space. And today, the name of the game is how soon you can introduce a product, how soon you can introduce a quality product, and then, because the market share is for the leaders. If you're a second in the market, you have already lost the race. So the another learning is sense of urgency. But having said this, cutting corners never work. You can never cut corners. You need to be very methodical. You need to do the things. You need to do the things in the right way. And in addition, you also need to do the right things. Both are important. If you're working on something that is not right, then you will be left behind. And also, if you don't do the right things the right way, and then if you cut corners, and that will also not help you, because you will not be able to develop a quality product. So I think sense of urgency, and then agile way of working. You need to be smart enough to see what the changes are happening, and then quickly adapt, transform. These are some of the core tenets that I practice in my day-to-day life. And in addition to that, the underlying factor is we need to be honest within ourselves. That's very important. You need to be honest within ourselves, and do and hope for the best. You do the right things and hope for the best. I think these are some of the key learnings that I take and practice. To some, it may look old classical way of work, but again, that is what will bring you, and that is what is sustainable in this era. What we need to look is also sustainability, not something that you bring something today and then it breaks tomorrow, goes away tomorrow, and that's not going to help. So these are some of the tenets I practice every day.
Sir, what do you think of the current ESG and corporate governance landscapes in India?
This is a great question and a fantastic question. Again, I would like to set some context before I answer the question. See, until now, since 19th century and until now, there has been a huge industrial revolution happened, and then we were seeing newer and newer products in every domain. And then, particularly since 1950s, the focus of all the corporations, Indian ones or international ones, is on profit. Profit is the single most thing that every organization looked up to, so that they can generate profits, reinvest the profits, and then build newer products. So in that sense, profit per se is not a bad word. It's a very important word, and that is absolutely necessary, because that is only when you get profits, the industries can sustain and then build newer products for the humanity. So there's no doubt about it. But then somewhere along the down the line, there has been too much focus on profits, and there have been instances, some of the industries, some of the organizations looked only for profits at any cost, right? And then that started to damage the environment, damage the social fabric, if I could say, right? And if you cannot take care of the environment when you develop a product, if you cannot take care of the social fabric, the people, the culture in the places, in the locations that you are having your industries, then what we are seeing is that the sustainability factor takes a hit. Ultimately, any industry, when you develop a product or a solution or a service, that product, that service has to be sustainable. You need to take the people along with you, and then still make profit. So having said this, right, so the care for environment, the care for social governance is becoming more and more important these days, and not only profits. So today the corporate mantra is not only P, it is triple P. It is planet, people, and profits, right? So, and then the profit comes the last in this equation. It's the planet first, it's the people, and then the profit. So unless you don't care for the planet, unless you don't care for your people, you don't give them, let's say, enough or good work-life conditions, work-life balance. And then in terms of for the planet, if you pollute the planet with your products, then nothing is sustainable. And the profits also would decrease over a period of time. And then so you end up not being sustainable an organization. So today, the ESG, environmental social governance, is being mandated by the market leaders, market organizations, market regulators like SEBI in India and SEC in the US to have a mandatory reporting of the ESG data in the organization's annual report. So today the question is no longer, can you provide ESG data in your annual report? Today the question from the market regulators is, please show me the metrics of what you do for ESG, right? It is no longer an option. You need to provide this ESG data, ESG metrics, and how good are your metrics, right? How quality data that you provide for the environmental social governance in their annual report. So in terms of global international space, I would say in the West, ESG is being taken more seriously because the mandate is there, the enforcement is there. And but even in India, I'm seeing that SEBI is strictly enforcing these regulations now. And today, no organization can say that I do not have ESG data. So that's the long and short of ESG. ESG is mandatory. It is here to stay, and organizations have to comply with these regulations. Absolutely, absolutely. I think if you look at the speaking with respect to Indian context, right? The growth has been tremendous in the last 2 decades, from 2000 to 2023. We are today. The GDP has grown. The organizations have grown, and products. Some of the products that are existing today was not even thought of in 2010, right? Because the newer technologies like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, and others are changing the landscape. And it is not only in the corporate space, but there are products in the personal space as well. The amount of variables that we have today, it is not there in 10 years ago. But the one thing that I can immediately think of is the earpod that you are wearing.
Yeah.
Nobody even, there was no such name existed in 2015.
Yeah.
I think earpod was invented sometime in 2018, 19. And then today you don't see anybody wearing connected ones. It's all earpods.
And this is from everybody to, sir, a guy selling fruits on the road to a business CEO. Everyone today uses the same style. Same style.
And then one of the biggest transformation, and for which India is pioneering, is the UPI, right? UPI. And then how much of a digital transformation has happened in India. Every street vendor has a QR code where you can transact business, which is a huge thing happening with the advent of advancement in mobile technologies, advancement in payment technologies, which is, by the way, which is also a very secure way of payments. So I think the digital transformation that India is undergoing is humongous. In my view, again, this is my personal view, I don't think any other country could have done it, the kind of scale that we are doing it, kind of scale that we have done it.
And this, sir, in fact, brings me to a question I was going to ask before, but since we're on the topic, as someone working closely with technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you've seen in your field? And what changes do you expect to see? with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, where you would have seen, sir, technology changes like we were discussing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think all these technologies that you mentioned, artificial intelligence, IoT, blockchain, to name a few, right, are all new. In a sense, they are not new. They have been there for about a decade, and AI is more than 5 decades.
Yeah.
But again, blockchain is kind of the newest kid in the block that we have not heard prior to 2010. These technologies will have a huge impact, or already having a huge impact in human life. If you look at AI has already become so pervasive in our human lives that we don't even notice, right? Everybody has a internet account. Everybody has a social, let's say, media account in variety of products, I would say.
Yeah.
And then we transact business online. It could be Amazon, it could be whatever other social online platforms, and then our internet is full of these technologies, and we don't even notice that when you browse in social media, you're already seeing some ads that is of interest to you, and all these are happening thanks to AI.
Yeah.
So it is, again, I want to repeat, it is so pervasive in our life, in our lives. The second thing is this Internet of Things. So internet again has been there for more than 50, 60 years, I would say, since 1950, but then got more prominence since 1970s and 80s. Today, I don't know, I don't know the exact number, but I would say hundreds of billions of devices are connected in some way or other, right? Thanks to internet. And then the technology has grown, the products have grown, that today we can operate our fan, our lights, everything, via practically everything from a cell phone. And then you have technologies like Alexa and Siri that are voice technologies. They take the voice command and then they can play a music. And so look at how devices are connected. This is humongous. Again, blockchain brings in a new way of accounting, accountability, keeping track of the accounts and books, which is very, very secure. So the transformation these technologies have brought are so huge, and we are already seeing the benefits. And it is now coming into the automotive segment, because I'm very close to automotive. And then these Internet of Things or AI technologies are coming into autonomous mobility and assisted functions in the automotive. We have got self-driving cars. So self-driving cars, if you look at, they are driverless cars, and then the cars are supposed to drive the same way as humans do, right? Humans are perceiving through our eyes, and then through our brains we take action. And remember, the car has to do the same thing. A self-driving car has to do the same thing, which means there has to be an intelligent engine in the vehicle that can see via the cameras in the car, via the radar sensors, via the LiDAR sensors. It captures this information. The artificial intelligence is the brain that crunches all the data and then takes a decision when there is a red light to stop, right? Just as humans do. And this is artificial intelligence behind it. So I think the space is the technology space, I would say, compared to a universe, right? It is expanding. It is so huge, and there is so much more to come. And I'm pretty sure that whatever is today will become obsolete in 5 years' time. That's the way the technology is growing. That's the way the products are growing. Huge opportunity. We are thinking about, particularly in medicine, the AI technologies can help diagnose those symptoms, and then give a accurate information and accurate diagnosis, I would say. But the same symptoms, multiple doctors could diagnose differently, but AI would diagnose very consistently for those symptoms. And I would not say that the AI would replace the doctors, but then particularly in rural areas where there is shortage of doctors, AI can help diagnose these things, and then a doctor sitting in the city or somewhere far away can just corroborate with that. this is the power of AI, where the rural people do not have those kind of facilities of going to a physical doctor, right?
Yeah.
The applications of AI, the applications of Internet of Things, blockchain, all these technologies are so huge, and who knows, there will be some new technology that will come 5 years down the line that can be completely different from the current ones, and which will be very useful. Limitless. And then one another example I would quote is the Chandrayaan, right? Chandrayaan 2, we did not succeed, but we did not fail either. I would say we did not succeed because the mission did not succeed. It did not touch down properly. At the same time, I would not say it is not a failure, but the amount of things that we learned from Chandrayaan 2 and then we applied in Chandrayaan 3 enabled us to have a very, very perfect 10-point landing, right? And this is all thanks to technologies.
Sir, as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
I think I would ESG and corporate governance is very important, but more so I would speak from the leadership perspective. Every leader in every organization need to have strong values, right? In terms of governance, in terms of ethics, in terms of people, policies, culture, right? So this also encompasses the environment and social. So I already mentioned about the need for environmental compliance, the need for social compliance. Only then you will have a sustainable organization, a sustainable product that can contribute to the human mankind over a very long period of time. So again, the basic thing a leader should focus is on the compliance, the ethics, the values, the respect for people, the respect for humanity, the respect for the government, the respect for let's say environment. These values are very important, and if there are situations that can tell you or direct you to go otherwise, I think these are the values that will help you stay on a normal course and then do the things the right way and also do the right things. I think I would put these values, honesty, being compliant, these are very important values, and of course environmental social governance is the key today. And one thing I wanted to mention is that today investors are not only looking at profits, investors are looking at how are you generating those profits. Are you generating those profits in an ethical way, or do you pollute the environment at the cost of to make profits? Do you treat your people well or not for profits? So investors are very much concerned with this, and this is so people take care of these parameters as well before really investing, and not only looking at the profits alone. How do you make this profit is also very important.
So, as you know, we're building a community here of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts such as you. What are your thoughts about this initiative taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
I think this is a very good question. When I was doing some research in general on industries, on corporates, on management, on leadership, and also on the boards, I came across this World Development Council, and I was very curious to some of their video clips that they put out on social media. So because this aligned with my interest and my values, so I was so curious that I researched more on what the World Development Council does. I think it is a very tremendous initiative I'll tell you why. As I mentioned earlier, the corporate sector in India is growing, right? It's growing at a tremendous pace. And the corporate sector needs professional managers, professional leaders to run the organization. Not all promoter-led companies have the right skills in the family or other family-run organizations. They don't have the right skills. So they have to look to professionals. And also to run an organization, as I said earlier, right, we need people with values. We need people who has a very broad mindset, who at the same time who has a greater understanding and deep understanding of technologies to build products of future products for tomorrow. And then there is one data point that shows us there is a huge shortage of qualified directors or professionals to run the organization, to be part of the corporate boards. This is very important. Today, there's a lack of shortage, and whatever, there is a shortage, I would say, and lack of industry professionals. And whatever the people who are today on the boards of directors of several companies, they are also aging, and the technology has moved so fast, the transformation is so fast that some of them are not able to keep pace with this transformation. So we need the corporate India needs more and more of fresh, let's say, mind, right? That is skilled in these corporate governance, that is skilled in these technologies as well, and able to bring technology and governance, ethical governance, into the corporate boards. And so this is a fact. So now, how do you achieve this, right? For anything, right, there has to be a learning. We, thanks to our earlier learnings in schools, in universities, and outside, we are all where we are today, and there is a continuous learning. And so there is also a new learning required to be a part of corporate management, and then drive these values. And I am saying that World Development Council has created multiple courses that teach aspiring people, interested people on these corporate governance, on these corporate ethics, values, on the one side, and also on the other side, teach ESG, teach digital transformation and technologies like this, such that these technologies and these learnings help a person to become a well-rounded corporate management professional. So the journey is very good. I think it is excellent course and excellent content. Personally, I am going through this, learning through them. I'm very happy. I see that my knowledge base and knowledge levels have gone a couple of notches since I've taken this course, because the content is so great, the presentation is so good, and then I think Zishan and Hevel are doing a great job in promoting and propagating these ideas to the community. I really appreciate it and welcome it.
Great, sir. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will greatly inspire future leaders. Thank you so much for joining us today, and wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably has expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.